All right, friends, it's T-Man, and we're back with a new video on guess who? JasonBlaha. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna make another video on him. I don't know, man. The lifting, gym lifting, recruiting lifting slave. Yes. Dad bod, he's gonna take you from dad bod to daddy bod. The bumbleclot himself, JasonBlaha. All right, let's see what the bumbleclot says this morning. Well, Blaha says training maturity is realizing cheat reps do not improve gains. Cheat reps do not improve gains. Everything improves gains because gains are just based on energy. Okay, man, let's see what he says.
Training maturity is realizing that cheat reps and ego lifting serve absolutely no benefit at all. And this is even a point that I did not always hold. Even within the last, year, I've really had to come to terms with this because what have I told you guys? Well, certain putting body English on movements, controlled cheating, can really help you get some eccentric overload and all this stuff. And I actually did believe that. But the longer I've looked at it, and the longer I've trained as someone who is, again, now 47, I've been in the iron game around, 25 years at this point. So when I have to look at this and look at the sum total evidence, muscles really only care about tension being put upon them from a hypertrophy perspective, right? They only care about tension, really doing silly stuff like doing a heavier concentric.
What the hell is he talking about? They only care about tension. What do you mean muscles only ever care about tension? They don't care about anything. What the hell? He's making this shit up, man. Come on. They only ever care about tension. For what purpose? They care about tension for what purpose? To carry your shopping from the corner store, dude? Pick up your kids? Run around the park? What? Doing natural stuff? I have no clue what the hell he's talking about.
So that you can, by cheating or even having someone help you lift it just so that you can take the eccentric doesn't make a lot of sense, right?
Why doesn't it make a lot of sense? The eccentric is is the basis of muscle mass and muscle gains. It's and strength as well. Because if you build real muscle, you get stronger. Now, if you just are looking to build some energy mass through energy glycogen loading, then yeah, keep pumping those weights, dude, because that's all you're doing. You're just creating artificial muscle growth through mass. It's just energy. I think people don't understand what energy is. They don't understand how this energy works, how muscles are built, how they grow, what builds them. People don't know anything out there. It's incredible how not even like these experts that you see on like these training channels, even Mike Israetel, none of these people know exactly what makes muscles grow or what's growing it or how does it work, what's this mass made out of, and they don't know anything, man. They don't know anything about myofibrillar growth. They don't know hyperplasia exists. Without hyperplasia, muscles can't further this domain when it reaches a ceiling limit during this MND size domain limit. There's a whole bunch of things that go into bodybuilding. It's complex. Yeah, but whatever, man.
Doesn't make a lot of sense because what does it do? It just puts us at a risk of injury. And if we're having just higher risks of injuries for no extra gain, again, okay, what is the point of this?
The point of lifting, he says, eccentrics are just putting you at risk of getting injured. The whole point of bodybuilding is to get stronger, not to get better at lifting weights, you dumbass. The whole point of bodybuilding is to get fucking stronger. And how do you get stronger? By building muscles. And what builds muscles? Muscle damage. Now, you're not supposed to go erratically, crazily heavy on the weight. The whole purpose is to eke out repetitions and to do things that you're unaccustomed with in order to build muscles. It isn't about being a gym slave, going there and doing exercise. Exercise has nothing to do with muscle damage training. Look, powerlifting and fucking strongman and all this other bullshit people are doing, this stupid lifting shit that they're doing in the gym, whatever, calisthenics, this, that, whatever. Oh, you don't understand me? If you are doing it consistently, and you are adapted. Now, if you're doing things periodically, you're going to get an adaptation. It's kind of obvious. You want me to prove this to you, man? Look. I posted this just recently in my community section because I was going to talk about something. I'm going to talk about something later on. You could check it out. I put some stuff there about DOMs and stuff, myofibrillar. So this is one section of DOMs right here. Myofibrillar, whatever, remodeling. And this is a smaller section right here, so you could check it out. It says the mode of myofibrillar remodeling in human skeletal muscle affected by DOMs induced by eccentric contractions. Okay, so we know that the skeletal muscle considered morphological eccentric contractions induced injuries. They do. They induce injuries. That's what they do, but not that kind of injury like he's talking about. That idiot. You're gonna get injured. You understand? You want to create micro injuries. They're called micro injuries, like it says there. I don't know if it says in here somewhere. Probably tells you somewhere in here micro injuries. I can't remember now. They're doing a test on people, okay? But whatever. And so what did they discover? They say here, right here, we propose that these staining patterns represent different stages of sarcomere formation. These findings therefore support our previous suggestions that muscle fibers subjected to eccentric contractions adapt to what? They adapt to unaccustomed activity by the addition of what? New sarcomeres. So how do muscles adapt to eccentric contract? How do muscles adapt? How do they adapt to these eccentric movements? It's really simple. The muscle fibers subjected to eccentric contractions adapt how? How do they adapt? To unaccustomed activity. How do eccentric exercises adapt to unaccustomed activity? By doing what? By the addition of new sarcomeres, new muscles, the addition of new muscles. So what causes muscle, what is associated with muscle damage? Eccentric exercises are associated with muscle damage, right? Right? So these eccentric contractions adapt to what? Unaccustomed. Did they say accustomed activity? No, they say unaccustomed activity. By doing what? By the addition of new sarcomeres. And so when you're doing something you're accustomed to, and the eccentric movement, your body gives you an addition of these new muscle fibers. Why does it do that? Why does it adapt by giving you muscle fibers when you do unaccustomed exercises? But when you're accustomed in the gym, it doesn't give you these muscle fibers anymore. It doesn't do that. Why doesn't it do that? Because it's the protective effect of not building any more muscles. It builds muscles so you don't build any more muscles. Get it? That's the whole point. So if you want more muscles, you're going to have to repeat this cycle again. That's the formula to building muscle. It's called unaccustomed, untrained, and unfamiliar forms get this damage, and then it adapts by doing what? By giving you an addition of new sarcomeres in numbers, muscle fibers, dude. So yeah, DOMS does exist because it tells you right here, okay? Human muscles with DOMS, okay? Observed in DOMS biopsies. And it tells you here too as well. It tells you myofibrillar and skeletal alterations observed in delayed onset muscle soreness. DOMS are caused by what? Eccentric exercises are generally considered to represent what? Damage. So if it's represented to create damage, micro injuries, then I think you need to be very cautious in your lifting so you could build more muscles. Yeah, that's what it's associated with, okay? The hallmark of DOMs reflect an adaptive remodeling to myofibers. See what it says here? Our results strongly support that the myofibrillar skeletal alterations considered by the hallmarks of DOMs reflect an adaptive remodeling, of the what? Myofibrils. They never say that with concentric exercise. You understand me? Yeah. It's associated with muscle damage, eccentric exercise. There's another one. I don't even know what this one's on. Muscle injury, see? Muscle regeneration, cellular and molecular events. Muscle injury induces strong changes in muscle cells and the extracellular matrix. Muscle regeneration after injury has similarities to muscle development during embryogenesis and seems to follow the same procedure. Yes, it does. The initial phase of muscle repair is characterized by inflammation and degeneration of the damaged tissue. There's a degeneration, and then you eat anabolic growth state, and then there's a regeneration. Get it? Yeah, you got to degenerate to regenerate. The initial phase of muscle repair is characterized, okay, whatever. Almost simultaneously, previous quiescent myogenic cells called satellite cells are activated. How are they activated? In the damage. Activated, proliferate, differentiate, and fuse to form myonucleated, what is it? Myofibers. Interesting. See that? Isn't that interesting? That's what it forms. Yes, a whole bunch of other stuff there too they're talking about. Another release there. During the muscle repair guide, muscle regeneration, however, their exact functions and effects on muscle remodeling remain unknown. Intensive research is currently addressing the regenerative mechanisms that allow acute muscle injuries and chronic muscle diseases. Okay, they're just talking about other stuff there. Here's another one. Atrophy, protein synthesis, myofibular muscle damage. You could read this. It tells you here. Unaccustomed resistance exercise results in muscle damage. Evidence directed by assessing muscle architectural changes. Yeah. Oh, what does it say here? Loss of muscle strength increases in muscle soreness. SOR and creatine kinase. Yeah, it does. It does do that. After the initial muscle damage, growth mechanisms are what? Triggered. So after the initial muscle damage, growth mechanisms are triggered. Yeah. Oh my God, how about that? Producing an increase in protein synthesis to support, at least in part, tissue repair. Yes, tissue repair, yes. Synthesis in chronic muscle hypertrophy could be due to damage to protein structures that would require repair, and therefore a greater increase in protein synthesis response. Yeah. A whole bunch of stuff goes on there, dude. You'd be surprised. You'd be shocked. Yes. The muscle damage is concomitant with the prerequisite for muscle. It is what? This large protein synthesis response has led researchers to propose that muscle damage is concomitant with the prerequisite for muscle hypertrophy. It's a prerequisite for muscle hypertrophy. Get it? This protein synthesis. Now, people who are adapted, they don't get that. They open a window for protein synthesis, but they're not building muscles because there's nothing damaged in there. There's nothing to build if there's nothing damaged. Duh. You understand me? So it doesn't matter how much protein you eat in an adapted state. It's just worthless. You're just wasting your money. However, muscle damage is rapidly attenuated. See? Muscle damage is rapidly attenuated. How is it attenuated? The repeated bout effect. Ooh. Rising uncertainty as to role of muscle damage. Okay. RT-induced muscle hypertrophy. Additionally, regular RT modifies protein synthetic response to become more shorter in duration. After each resistance bout, it does, because no more damage. Considering that the acute protein synthetic response does not correlate with muscle hypertrophy, and the pattern increase in pro-synthetic responses modulate the RT. Yeah, does a bunch of other stuff here. I don't know, man. What else does it tell you here? The result in protein synthetic response directed toward muscle repair of muscle damage and more toward muscle fiber hypertrophy. See? Being directed less towards repair of muscle damage and more towards fiber hypertrophy, yada, yada, yada. They're talking about a whole bunch of stuff here, man. Yeah, synthetic response over days and weeks. There's a response over days and weeks. Over days and weeks. Yes. Yes, yes. Okay, infusion. Anyway, let's go back to the video. I don't want to bore you here.
It's complete nonsense, right? And people say, well, you
See, it's complete nonsense. Even though the literature is out there, but it's complete nonsense to Blaha and probably all of his minions.
got to take some risk. Well, and that's true. There's always some risk associated with lifting, and I would say that for most people, to be
For a guy that keeps getting injuries who could lift a heavy weight, he is very weak. If you were getting injured lifting weights, then you were weak. I don't get injured lifting weights because I'm strong. I'm stronger than these people. That's why I never get injured lifting weights. I've never been injured lifting weights ever in my entire life.
fair, if you're lifting decently well, the odds that you're going to get hurt driving to the gym in your car are probably higher, right? Traffic accidents being a thing, but that aside, what really gets
See, producing a force, lifting this weight, producing a force doesn't mean that you got stronger. What makes you stronger? A bigger, stronger body makes you stronger, providing it's based on, real tissue, not energy. You're loading energy in the muscle.
people hurt is the ego lifting. People will talk about even powerlifting. I've seen certain data where people compared powerlifting to bodybuilding, or they compared all strength sports, right? There's a slightly higher injury rate, but they
That's stupid stuff. Ego lifting. The people ego lifting are looking for trouble. You know that, unless of course they have a strong enough body to back up the ego lift so they don't injure themselves. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know why you need to ego lift, but okay.
when you look at some of that, well,
I don't do any of that. I just build my body big and strong. I don't care about lifting. I really don't give a shit about gyms or lifting or anything. Yeah, if you get to that point where you're lifting something heavy, that's great. Applause, that's nice. Who cares? The end goal would probably be that, of course, but your main focus should be building your body big and strong. And the end goal should be, well, if you got there, then how did you get there to lift a heavy weight? Well, you got there by building your body big and strong. And then you eventually got there. Not I got better at lifting a heavy weight, but I'm a small strong guy. Or whatever they want to call that. A weak strong guy, a small weak strong guy.
Olympic lifting itself is, how do I put it? I mean, the exercises themselves, even with perfect form, are essentially, in a lot of ways, massive cheat reps. I can see how the injury rate could be high from that. Okay? There's a reason you don't see them in the game alone.
Again, if you're getting injured, you're a weak motherfucker. Anybody who's getting injured in a gym, if you got injured in a gym, you are a weak motherfucker. I don't care what anybody says, man. If you're getting injured, at any point you've gotten injured lifting a weight in a gym, you are a weak fuck. That's it. You're a weak fuck, dude.
Time. How many powerlifters do ego lifting trying to lift weights in the gym? See it all the time, not necessarily with the best of the best. A lot of the best of the best are super strict. How much do you see that ego lifting? Again, ego lifting with heavy weight just beats you up, destroys you. Look at Ronnie Coleman.
Well, the concentric exercise is known to wear you out, wear out your joints and your parts and everything. It's in my community section. I put it there, down there somewhere. I don't know. I talked about it. It's there. There's a report there. It'll tell you about concentric exercises, what it does. It just wears out your joints and your body. I don't know if I could find it now. I'd probably have to look through it. I can't remember it. I didn't know he was going to talk about that. I would have looked for it. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's this. I think it's this stuff here. Just give me a second. Yeah, it's one of these things I posted recently. Yeah. Can't be this one. No, eccentric. Yeah, no, it ain't that. I think it's this one. Here it is. I think, yeah, wait. Could be this. Just, no, that's not the one. Shit. That ain't the one either. Damn, I don't know where I put it. No, that's not the one either. I got too much stuff here, man. That's the problem. Gee, I really like to. I would really like to show you that, but it's going to take a while to find it because I don't remember where I put it. I have too much stuff here. Yeah. No, it's not that one either. Hormone sarcopenia. Yeah. I don't know. I was talking about it a while ago in here. Advanced techniques, concentric, eccentric drop sets. They wear out your body parts, man. They wear you out and destroy you. Concentric movements, that's what it does. It destroys the shit out of you. That's what it tells you here. I don't know, I can't find it right now. I don't know where I posted it, and I have too much stuff here. I don't know where it is, man. Sorry, I wish I could find it. I can't find it right now.
My God. And here's the thing I would say, given Ronnie's work ethic and genetics, had he just done strict reps for all his back work, does anyone really think he would?
No, his problem was he focused too much on concentric movements, and that's what destroyed him. Too much concentric and not enough eccentric, and he just blew his body up with like sarcoplasmic fluid, this energy, and then his body was weak. That's why he got all these injuries. He had a weak body. You could eat shitty food, you could eat crap all day and just blow up like a balloon taking steroids, thinking, and it too is going to cause you to give you more forced production. These hormones give you more forced productions. They bind with the receptors, giving you more forced production. So a forced production doesn't mean that you're strong. You just are good at moving objects around. That's about it. You practiced at moving them. And he took a drug to do it artificially. So can you imagine on a weak body giving you more force than you would naturally have on a weak structural body? You're going to get these ultra structural muscle or injuries all over your body, and your spine will get these cracks and everything. And his spine gave out because his body was weak, filled with a bunch of weird fluid, and he lifted super heavy. He went nuts with the steroids. Crazy. That's stupid.
Have won the Olympia still, like, whatever, 57 times.
What did he win? The Olympia. What did he win exactly? What did he win? I'll tell you what Ronnie Coleman won. He won a wheelchair. Get it? He won being crippled and pushing a wheelchair around. You want to do that? Who gives a shit about the Olympia? It's all garbage. Look, man, I gotta explain something to you how reality works, man. If you want to make money, then go make money. If you want to work, then go to work. Be a slave and work for somebody. But if you want to make money, go make money. You know what I mean? These people, they think, well, I got to go be a bodybuilder and everything, be popular, and that's going to make me money. No, you're a slave, bro. And now he's a crippled slave. That's what happened to Ronnie Coleman.
Or whatever that he wanted. I mean, I'm almost exaggerating because
I don't want to slave myself to accustomed exercises. That's why I do unaccustomed exercises. That's why people ask me, how come you never work out? How come you never go to the gym? Because I don't want to slave myself to accustomed lifts or exercises, dude. I do things that I'm unaccustomed to because I know they're regenerative and they're more fun to do.
Forget the number. It's insanely high. What was it, 8? Was it 8 or was it 9? You lose track at that point. It's just kind of like, the guy just won it over and over and over and over.
Look at this guy. He just looks like an ordinary old 80-year-old man walking down the street. You wouldn't know that he lifted a weight. He's got to wear a shirt that says deadlift on it. Remember, on his channel, he always wore a shirt. That green shirt says deadlift. Why does somebody who actually deadlifts have to wear a shirt that says deadlift? Are you communicating, dude? What's going on here?
Does anyone really think that he had just done stricter rows instead of doing crazy cheat rows with 600 pounds? Okay? I want to be clear here.
Yeah, he moved too much for concentric movements, thinking concentric was getting him big. But in fact, his movements were only adding more to the mass of the myofibulars in what? It's in glycogen loading. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. People don't understand that there's two types of hypertrophy. One is myofibular, the other one is sarcoplasmic. Steroids, they don't build muscles. They can aid in them, but they can't build it. And I may just do a video on that explaining it.
Does anyone really think he wouldn't have still won? If he had just dropped it down and said, what if I did these strict with, sets of 12 with 405, pretty and controlled? When you look at how muscles work and how they grow, he would have still won. He would have still had the biggest, thickest, most ridiculous back up there on the stage. Does anyone actually doubt that?
Yeah, he would have been the biggest to hold the most glycogen in his muscle than all the other people. The sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, yes.
Yeah. So just because
I know.
that,
I know all of you are thinking that lifting a heavy weight builds a muscle. Lifting a heavy weight doesn't build a muscle. How sarcomeres and muscle fibers are built, they're built through muscle damage. They're not built from lifting a heavy weight. They're built from damaging muscles. Get it? Yeah. Okay. Now, the mass of a myofibrillar, what makes up the mass of the myofibrillar? It's something called cytoplasm, that cell. I'm talking about the cells now. It's made up of cytoplasm, which is is made up of sarcoplasmic. It's sarcoplasm, which is what? Glycogen. The mass of a myofibrillar is made up of what? Energy. That energy in the cell is what? So it's a jelly-like fluid. It's glycogen, and then the fluid surrounding the myofibrillars fills up with what? In the reticulum, the sarcoplasm reticulum, with sarcoplasmic fluid. It's glycogen. It fills up in there too. It fills up a lot. That's the mass of the myofibrillars. Now, if you want to get stronger, you're gonna have to build more myofibrillars and not just move for mass. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy doesn't make you stronger. You understand me? And lifting a heavy weight just makes you better at practicing lifting a heavy weight in force production. Get it? But if you want to get stronger, you have to damage muscle fibers, get them to repair and remodel bigger and stronger. Get it? Yeah, man. This isn't fucking rocket science, dude.
so just because he did it doesn't mean that it was the best. I think he would have been just as jacked. Again, genetics, work ethic, all of that being factored in.
No genetics or work factors were worked in. He just simply injected himself with hormones, and the hormones acted as if, listen, when you're starving, your hormones go up, GH and testosterone. Why is that? Because it's trying to preserve you. So it's recycling proteins and glycogen and everything in the body. It's recycling to preserve you because you all of a sudden you starved. Get it? Okay, so when you inject testosterone in your body, high dosage of testosterone, what happens? Your body thinks it's starving, but you're not starving. You start overfeeding yourself. And so what does the body do when there's a high increase of testosterone and you eat a lot of carbohydrates? An artificial diet called carbohydrates. Well, it'll start loading in the muscle because it thinks we're starving, we're going through a famine. So it starts loading this glycogen exponentially in the muscles because, listen, your body works like this. To carry you through a famine, it needs to load fuel. That fuel is in the form of energy. And so also your fat cells are made up of triglyceride energy. Your muscles are made up of glycogen. They load a lot of glycogen. Get it, bro? That's why I think people really don't understand that. And of course, it's a different type of molecule. The hormones that you're injecting are not like your hormones. So definitely they will exude a different, plant DNA will exude a different look on your body. It will give you a slightly different look. But that doesn't mean that it's building muscles magically out of thin air, dude. You still have to damage them to build them.
Okay? But here's the thing when it comes to all of this, we're increasing our risk of injury. For what? For our ego? We're not getting bigger because of it. And I've had to conclude that with, again, my lagging biceps, me doing cheat curls and loose form, right? Instead of just saying, hey, maybe maybe if I just started doing all my curls really strict and try to control my body movement and work on getting a full range of motion and just going to failure or close to failure, you should go to failure on the last set, right? That maybe at a bigger biceps. Same thing here doing chins, right? What if I don't swing? What if I just control these chins, these weighted chins, right? I'm doing sets of 10 here with a 45.
You could just do the eccentric on there, or you could just do the, listen, you could just do the concentric. I told people before, if you want to get good at getting force, then all you have to do is stand here on a box, right? Okay, and just do the up force and then step back onto the box. You understand me? Your first set would be to pull yourself up, right? Okay, and then step on the box and then repeatedly keep pulling yourself up without doing the eccentric exercise. You understand me? Yeah. Now, if you just want to do eccentric, then step on a box and then lower your body and then step back up on the box and lower your body. Don't do the concentric. It's really simple. It's really simple, dude. But one is associated with force production. The other one is associated with muscle damage, which grows more myofibrillar growth, making you stronger. That's why it's superior. Eccentric will always be superior to concentric because concentric only deals with a force production. That's it. It doesn't grow your body big and strong.
Like maybe if I did it that way,
And here's another thing. If you're adapted and you're not getting any muscle damage and you're just getting force, then that energy that mass that you're growing is based on energy. It's based on sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. It's really simple, bro. Like I said, it ain't rocket science.
would have better biceps. So, I mean, if you look at everything I'm doing here, everything is pretty controlled. The benching is controlled. It's all paused. Stop trying to game the system, right? Stop trying to game the system.
Can you imagine being like him, adapted, this squirrel? This squirrel is adapted, lifting all the time in his garage, in lifting limbo hell. It's like you've been imprisoned. He's imprisoned himself for 30 years, lifting, and he's created what? Ask yourself this question. What has Blaha created by being a lifting slave? Look at his body. Look at him. What has he done? Nothing. He's lifted. He's gotten injuries and everything. He's got a terrible body. He looks terrible. He's lost his hair and everything. He's suffering now from sarcopenia. He's got poor health. The loss of the satellite cells, he's diminished them like crazy. And he's aged, accelerated aging like crazy. He looks like an 80-year-old man. So what are the positive benefits of exercise? Let's see. What are the positive benefits? None. Zero. Let's see. What are the negative effects? Loss of hair, stress to the body, constantly stressed, possibly getting chronic diseases, cardiovascular disease, a whole bunch of diseases, damaging your extremities, I don't know, wearing out your joints. What else is there? Suffering from sarcopenia, wearing out the progenitor cell, and accelerated aging. So wow, are these the benefits of exercise? I had no idea. These are great benefits, eh? Let's see the benefits. Accelerated aging, I don't know, loading energy in and out of your muscles, possibly getting diabetes, because if you load too much of it, if you start losing the mass, you can become a diabetic because it turns to glucose. Because you could read this in science, man. They explain this to you. When a muscle mass shrinks, it turns to glucose. Pop it up on YouTube. Read about it for yourself. If you don't know anything about science, then I suggest you go and investigate what cells are made up of. The cytoplasm, what it's made up of, sarcoplasmic. It's made up of energy and shit and everything, and glycogen. So when it shrinks, you become a diabetic. So these are all the positive things. Becoming sarcopenic, losing the progenitor cells, losing my hair and all this. Weird problems with your hormones. Eating an artificial diet, carbohydrates, whatever, sky high insulin and shit and all that. It's just all bad stuff, bro, going on here. Think about it. If it's so healthy, why is he suffering from every chronic disease and skin diseases? He's got these skin diseases, chronic diseases, his hair fell out and everything. His teeth are all bad. So this is really healthy, right? Okay. And he's suffering from sarcopenia and he's accelerated aging. So these are the health benefits. Great, dude. Yeah, I'm on it right away.
Just do our best to do quality reps. Okay? Try to take exercises through at least the stretches at the bottom. Again, looking at the lengthened position stuff, right? But try to take muscles through our personal full range of motion. Keep in mind, range of motion does vary, and I think that has to be pointed out, right? I can't touch my chest, for example, on my chins or pull-ups or even a lat pull down. So even the empty bar on a lat pull down, I can't quite get there, right?
He can't get there because he's old and it's lost range of motion now that you're old. Can barely move around. I bet you if he was laying on the floor, he would have a hard time trying to get up off the floor. He's lost his flexibility, he's gone, a whole bunch of stuff. These are more important things. Flexibility is very important as you get older. Your flexibility as you were when you were young and having power and strength. He has no power. He's good at lifting these weights, but he's got loss of power. I'm not joking. He may have some force, but he's lost power. Just trust me on this. Tell him to lay on the floor and tell him to try to get up and watch how he gets himself up off the floor.
So, that's obviously a little different, but I would say, are my scapula working to their full range of motion? Yes. Same thing, get your stretches at the bottom of movements.
Hell, Blaha couldn't run for his life down the neighborhood. If he was being chased by a tiger or something or a cat down that street, he wouldn't be able to run. He'd be the first one that'd be caught. He can't run. Want to know why? Because he's weak. He's weak.
Okay. Control your exercises, though. Control your exercises. Control the weight. And even if we look at the powerlifting and strength work.
I didn't say he was bad at lifting a heavy weight. I said he was weak. That's why he can't run. But you're going to say he's strong because he could lift a heavy weight. Oh, yeah, okay. So if he can lift a heavy weight, why can't he run down the street?
Instead of just the bodybuilding world. What did Louis Simmons always say when it came to this stuff? And a lot of people don't like him. They're like, whatever, you're going to listen to a fat guy. Yeah, but he built 100 world champions in a strength sport.
Louis Simmons was a fake asshole. He didn't build anybody. He gave him drugs. He pumped them with drugs, dude. It's a known fact.
100 world record holders.
Yeah. 100 fake record holders, yes, okay.
Come on. He probably knows a couple things. What did he always say? Get the most out of the weight. Don't let the weight get the most out of you. Okay? And if you take that philosophy, it makes sense. We should have control of the weight.
Well, yeah, I believe that. You should not let the weight take the most out of the weight. Fucking Blaha doesn't follow that advice at all whatsoever. He lets the weight take advantage of him. He never uses the weight to get benefits out of it.
We should have control of the weight on every rep, on every exercise. And then people say, well, I serve the end. I don't think that there's merit to that. I really don't think there's merit to doing cheat reps, trying to get a few more reps. Either you've hit failure or you haven't. You're not getting any more muscle development because you're doing some cheat reps, because then you're reducing the load on the muscles because they can't handle the load.
Yes, they can. Just eat more glycogen. Just eat more starch so you can load this glycogen in the muscle. And you'll get more of this energy. When you load energy, it'll reflect on your physique. You'll get the balloon method. You'll blow up like a balloon. Yeah.
You just rest and do another set. That would make a lot more sense.
It's funny. The best part is when these guys, they blow themselves up like balloons in gyms. Like they go, look, we got pumped. And then they go, let's measure our arms and see how big they are after we get pumped. And then they measure their arms. And they go, oh, look, we gained a half an inch or something on our biceps pumped. You gained a half an inch of your bicep pumped, bro. What the fuck?
Sense. You're going to get a lot less hurt. You're going to get a lot less beat up.
Oh, yeah.
Right? This is the stuff that we have to think about. Keeping our injuries as low as possible is one of the biggest keys to getting really jacked, right? Because it's consistency. It allows you to be more consistent if you're not hurt.
Look how jacked Blaha is.
All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk
Does he look jacked to you?
to you guys and gals next time.
Yes. Look how jacked Blaha looks, man. He's jackeder than the last time. He doesn't understand anything about lifting. It doesn't matter what you do in an adapted state, providing that glycogen synthesis exceeds that breakdown. You understand me? And you'll load more of this glycogen in the muscles. Now, as far as protein, well, it doesn't really matter in an adapted state. You understand me? It doesn't matter. In muscle damage, protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown for sure. But if people that are lifting in the gym, you're not exceeding any of that breakdown or anything. There's a window for breakdown. Listen, I'll explain this. You're going to a job or whatever you're going, and you're working physically. So your body's breaking proteins down all day anyway. It's building up and breaking down. When you eat food, it builds up and breaks down. Builds up, breaks down. Okay, that's just regulation. That's normal regulation. Okay, how muscles work. These proteins, they build up, break down. Okay, so you go to the gym now, you lift a bunch of weights, really strenuous. So you've increased this breakdown. So you're just going to the gym to increase the breakdown of proteins. Get it? Yeah, so then you're like, well, there's a window for protein synthesis, 24 hours. Yeah, there is. Okay. And what are you doing? Nothing. You're just putting back the proteins you broke down in the gym. How stupid is that? You know what I mean? You're basically just going to the gym to do what? To get good at what? Lifting weights? See what I mean? You never built anything. Muscles are extremely hard to build because they can only build through muscle damage. Yeah, I don't care what anybody says, debunking me and all that bullshit online. All these stupid these fairies online try to debunk me. Like that crazy Cialis guy, Alias, or whatever the hell his name is, with his stupid voice, computer AI bullshit, whatever. There's all these stupid people online. You get Blaha, hyperplasia doesn't exist. You know, like dumb people like fucking this asshole. Yeah, okay, it doesn't exist then. Then be a lifting slave, bro. Get it? Be a lifting slave because it doesn't exist. See what I mean? I can't get rich because it doesn't exist. Okay, then don't get rich. Go be a working slave. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Science wouldn't tell you something if it didn't exist. If hyperplasia didn't exist, then where did the word come from? See you in the next one. Ciao, friends.